If you're looking forward to something or anticipating it, you might describe yourself as giddy, excited, or hopeful. Hope is a state of anticipation that is crucial for healthy human existence. If you've ever known someone who had no hope, they probably weren't doing so well. From the website pursuegod.org. I'm Stephen Middleton, coming to you from the Possibility Action Network. Our core values include I am, I can, and I will. I am Possibility Man. Today, I want to share on the theme, you have power to give hope. If you've ever wondered about some of your superpowers, I want to remind you that one of them is the power to give hope. Now, as we look at the world today, it's 2022. I don't know when others may see this video. We have a lot that's going on in the world. I think we are at the tail end of what is called COVID-19, that virus that almost shut down the world for a while. In virtually every corner of the world, you'll find people struggling with a lot of things. Some people are wondering, will I be able to pay my electric bill? Will I be able to put food on the table for my family? Will I be able to take a vacation, with my children? There is a great deal that's going on around the world. And of course, people talk about some of these things. People talk about conflicts between ethnicities. People talk about conflicts between so-called races. People talk about conflicts within their home, outside of their home, and people talk about the kinds of things that are bothering them in their lives. In the midst of all of this, I want to say that you, and of course I'm including myself here, have the power to give hope. Let's think about hope for a moment now. I come from a Christian background, and of course I'm not a theologian, or I'm not trying to be any of those kinds of things, but this is a part of who I am and a part of my life. In the book of Hebrews, the writer Paul, talks about faith, and as important as the word faith is, if you were to go to it, you'll discover that he said, well, faith is the substance of something. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So as important as the word faith is, that writer, as he attempts to explain faith, he turned to the word hope. I don't want to be too scripted here, but I tried to find some places where hope was mentioned. And I looked once again at the Christian Bible, possibly the New Testament alone, and I found that hope is mentioned at least 129 times in the New Testament alone. This word hope is important. This word hope should not be overlooked. And this word hope, I'm suggesting, is one of your superpowers. I got this notion, I should say from the outset, of a superpower in respect to a human being from a teacher named Cindy Stevens. She's out of Canada. And she says that a human being actually has 5 superpowers. And I am simply suggesting here, she does not use hope in this particular way, but I want to use it this way to say that hope is one of our superpowers. 129 times, at least 129 times in the New Testament alone, hope is mentioned in the Hebrew Bible at least 48 times. Hope is mentioned in the Quran at least twice. And the way it's mentioned, it's as if it had been mentioned over 100 times. So hope then is important. And once again, I want to say that hope is one of your superpowers. I was speaking to a friend of mine earlier today, and she was mentioning something regarding generational wealth. That wasn't her theme. That wasn't what she wanted to talk about per se. But in talking about it, she was saying, look, people talk about generational wealth. And she said, in my family, we talk about generational health. And I said, oh, you just reminded me of something. You reminded me that I have been teased with this word hope for several days now, and I've been reluctant to talk about it. And she said, you got to talk about it. If it's resting in your heart, you got to say something about it. We talk about generational wealth. We talk about generational this and generational that. But what if more and more of us start talking about generational hope? That is, hope is something that's in our family. Hope is something that's in our patois, our language. That hope is something that we talk about over and over again, because hope then is one of our superpowers. I was talking to someone else recently, and I was asking a rhetorical question. I was asking, I wonder what so-and-so felt when they died by suicide. And this person, without even hesitation, said, well, you know what they felt. I said, no, I don't know what they felt. She said, you can imagine what they felt. And then she continued by saying, they felt a degree of hopelessness. They felt a degree of despair. They felt that there was no way out. And in that thought, locked in that thought, they died by suicide. And I am been touched with this whole notion over and over again for the past, 8 days, telling me that hope is a superpower that every human being possesses. So again, you have the power to give hope. I have the power to give hope. We can give generational hope in our culture. We can give generational hope in our homes. We can give generational hope in our country. We can share generational hope in our world. Now, some people would say, hope is an inside job. And I'm not denying that each individual has an opportunity to cultivate their hope. Each individual has the opportunity to dust off their hope. I am not denying that at all. And I am not denying that hope from the inside out is perhaps the most powerful version of hope that anyone can imagine. I am not denying that. But I do not want to discount hope from the outside in. Let's face it, today, it's 2022, once again, there are thousands of life coaches and transformational coaches and spiritual coaches around the world. And they're all pointing people to the value that's inside of themselves. That's from the outside in. Now, they cannot jump into a person's body and put hope in it, but they can help a person dust it off. They can help a person get another glimpse of the hope that's in them, because hope is what in effect, what an individual actually is. Hope is what has been stirring in my soul for the last 8 days. Hope is what I hope will stir in your soul now. So how can you give hope? I would like to know what you think about this. I'm going to share some things with you now, but I would like to know what you think about giving hope. Hope, then, it can be shared, it can be given to another person, but just letting another person know something as simple as, I believe in you. That's hope. Virtually anyone with life in them. And when I mean life, I'm not simply talking about being alive. Anyone with the life of the universe in them. Anyone with the life of God in them. Anyone who hears something like that will be stirred by it, will be touched by it, will be moved by it. Now, it's not that their mind will be moved. Their mind may not be moved, but their spirit, their essence will be touched by someone saying to them, I believe in you. That is, I believe in who you are. I believe in how you present into the world. I see something positive in you. Everyone with the life of the universe, everyone with the life of God will be touched by someone saying that to them. Can you imagine the number of negative things that a person may hear in a single day? Turn on the television. The newscasters are going to tell you that. There's a hurricane somewhere. There's a shooting somewhere. There's someone who was racially profiled somewhere. There's someone who did this somewhere. They'll tell you over and over again about how many bad things happen in the world. And people get dirty because of that, to use the language that someone shared to me once, that it's difficult to go through life without getting a bit dirty. And for a human being then to hear something contrary to that is enough to light them up, to touch them, to affect them. I gave a talk, over 20 years ago about the languaging arts. The languaging arts. That's we language people. We tell them how no good they are. We tell them all of the bad things about themselves. We do it all the time. Sometimes we don't even do it by speaking. We do it by behavior. The languaging arts. The opposite side of that then is to give someone hope, to language them in a more positive way. And that is the superpower that I am submitting that we all have. Now I want to ask you a question, and I hope that you drop a comment in the comment section below. What are you going to do with this superpower? You know that people can actually heal from their chronic disease? That's giving someone hope. You probably encounter dozens of people every week who are struggling with some type of life condition, some type of physical condition, and they think they have no hope. But you have this superpower of giving hope. It's possible that you can overcome that situation. You have the power to give someone hope regarding their finances, especially if you live in the Western world. I know it's not easy. I know that. And I know that there's shysters out there. Wherever you look, there's someone who is a shyster, who wants to take advantage of somebody else. But for every one like that who wants to take advantage of somebody else, there are many more who have good intentions. I just want to remind you that you have the power to give hope. You have the power to tell someone, I believe in you. You have the power to let someone know, I am on your side. You have the power to let someone know that you love them, that you care about them. You have the power to give hope. And I am submitting that hope is one of your superpowers. This began stirring in my soul, as I said, many days ago, and I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to talk about it because I'm saying, well, you know, you're not complete. You're not perfect. You have not been to the mountaintop. How can you tell someone about hope? But today, from conversations that I've had, I just felt that I just cannot keep it in any longer. Let it be half-baked. And as it has to be, because the point is not what I'm trying to say to you. There's only one thing that I'm trying to say, and that is you have the power to give hope. And I'm calling all of those individuals who hear my voice today or at any other day to recognize your superpower, to share it with somebody else. You have the power to help someone overcome a depressive mood. You have the power to help someone rekindle their faith. You have the power to help someone say that I'm willing to start again. You have the power to help someone recognize that they can shine. You have the power to be a teacher. Did you know that? You don't have to be a formal teacher to be a teacher. You have the power to be a coach, a life coach, a transformational coach. Do you know that? You have the power because you have that power to give hope. Now, where is your source of hope coming from? It's not coming from your negative thoughts. Don't rely on them. As Abraham Lowe, Dr. Abraham Lowe wrote in one of his books many years ago, over 70 years ago. He died in the 1950s. And he was talking about feelings. He was writing about feelings, but he's also writing about hope. He said, feelings are not facts. You know, your doubts are not the facts. He said, feelings will lie to you. Doubt will lie to you. Negative thinking will lie to you. Feelings will tell you about things that are not true. Of course, he was talking about your negative feelings, your negative thinking. Not that it's our fault, but anything that causes a human being to put down another human being, something is going wrong in the kitchen. And I'm trying to say over and over and over again to myself and to anyone who hears my voice, you have the power to give hope. And I'm going to make an offer that I've made before. I'm going to make it again. If you have difficulties seeing your value, if you have trouble seeing that you are a contribution in the world, and you want someone to sit with you, to help you dust off, you know, the things that somehow that have blurred your vision so that you're not able to see yourself clearly now, I'm inviting you to send me a message. Send it to IamPossibilityMan@gmail.com, and I'm going to offer the first 5 individuals the opportunity to sit with me as we dust off, you know, what's holding you back, as we help support you in seeing who you actually are. Beyond your history, beyond your negative thoughts, beyond your stories, there's something beautiful about you. And I want to sit with you as you discover it. Send me an email, IamPossibilityMan@gmail.com. I'm Stephen Middleton, coming to you from the Possibility Action Network. Our core values include I am, I can, and I will. I am Possibility Man. Until next time, good day